Hello and welcome. This is Diana and you are watching Holistic Vibes. This is going to be just a reading to see what needs to come up and possibly what we need to pull out of your field. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I hope you are doing well. There is a little bit of like a heaviness in between the throat and the heart chakra, right? So maybe you're in the process of finding your own truth, releasing, identifying. You know, there could also be like sorrow that's kind of emanating out of the body, right? Out of the cells, out of the frequency, collective consciousness. And because remember, like as you're peeling that layer, you're also helping the collective peel that layer too, right? So that could very well be, like something that is lifting in your current reality, or it's, transmuting, right? Like as you step into your self-worth, as you step into your co-understanding of what's been being said behind your back, right? It's kind of like when you understand what your enemy is working with, you really no longer see them as a threat, right? Because they're just essentially putting the nail in their own coffin. And when you release the need for acceptance, right? And you understand like your self-worth, your own divine divinity, then you step into your power, it's like a core understanding of no longer being upset that people don't like you, right? Like as a kid, you probably only wanted to fit in. You wanted to have friends, but the truth is like you operate on a different vibration. And that pond, they're kind of showing me like when you're in elementary school and you like think that those are all the kids that you're going to get stuck with for like the entire time, and then you go into middle school, right? And then there's like 4 schools that are combined, so then your pond just got a little bigger, and then you go into high school and then there's 12 schools or 24 schools that are like enmeshed together, right? So each time your pond got bigger, you kind of geared toward, is this all there is, right? What else is there? And so you're a big fish in a very little pond, right? Because as you're expanding and as you're coming into your own awareness, like very few people are going to understand like your resonance, your vibration. And so like as you're coming into your own, you're essentially, they just said throw. You're essentially owning your vibration of I feel. Like, I know that person is shady. There's nothing about it, if, ands, or buts. Because somebody saw and identified their old pattern of, like, what kept happening at, like, your old job is what they're showing me. At your old, like, school. At your old, like relationship, like you understand the telltale signs. And so what you've done is you started taking your intuition as your truth, and you're like, fuck that. Like I see you hands down, no problem. And like, I trust me more than anyone on this planet. And when I come back into my core resonance of who I am, like there's no doubt in my mind. If I say you're talking shit, then you're talking shit. Like there's no gray, right? Thank you for the confirmation, sir. He's talking to books. He usually calls out to kitties, but I don't know what his deal is. But like the thing is your sacral, that I feel, is like literally opening up and flourishing as you're feeding your own space. Odin, stop saying hello. I'm right here. It's really funny. He actually sounds like he's saying hello. Hello. There we go. So every time that you feel yourself getting triggered, right, or pulled out of your heart-centered space, like, take a deep breath in and allow yourself to, like, sink into your solar plex, right? Connecting your solar plex, and, like, you want to essentially, like, tap into your own inner wisdom, your own inner strength, your own understanding, and you want to always come from a place of heart-centered consciousness, regardless of how many times you've been wounded, right? You always give somebody the benefit of the doubt. And what that does is it essentially activates their karma. And, like, the thing is karma comes back to you, like, instantaneously. There is no delay anymore. And the matrix is going to start showing you as you evolve into a fourth density consciousness, right? When you are truly a heart-centered being and all of your cells have been transmuted and completely reformulated, recoded with the proper DNA sequences, right? Then you're essentially, like, activating your etheric body and your Ka body. And as long as your Ka body's been cleared, which in all honesty, like a lot of people on this planet, their Ka bodies have been impeded by lower vibrational entities, like dark energies. Because essentially it's a agreement that was not consciously made, right? In all these different lifetimes. So you essentially keep refinding these lower vibrational entities. Think like narcissistic people, think reptilian vibration, right? Think dark matter, and they essentially have impeded, because they were the ones with all the knowledge, like, let's be real, because it was all about control. It's always been about control. And so, and I'm thinking, like, somebody at your work or at your job who's been fucking with your self-worth, that has been essentially trying to make it out like you are less than, when in actually they're the ones that are putting on a fake facade that will at some point become entirely visible. So the question is, can you envision a timeline where that person does get their karma and you did nothing? You just allowed the universe to play it out, right? And you said, by all means, like, take what you take, do what you do, but I'm holding to my higher timeline and I will not be shaken from that, right? When you pull them out of the dark and you clearly identify and see, then you activate the mirror of the Ka body, right? This is where, like, the yogis used to be able to throw their physical their astral body into a completely different remote place, but they looked like they were physical, right? That they were dense, that they were heavy. And that's what they're showing me, is like you essentially mastering your ability to throw your energy, once you learn this lesson, right? Because then the door activates. And for those of you that don't know, like, when you're meditating, if you are, like, if you hold like a bunch of different gifts, right? I'm not going to list them all out, but, like, you can, you know, you're going to see a door like this through your meditations, right? Make sure that you are wearing your armor of God prior to stepping through, because in the astral realm, like, they want you to be unarmed. They want you to be unprotected. And the big thing is like you stepping into your own sovereignty as you're doing this stuff and as you're manifesting, right? And whoever is stepping forward saying, oh, look, I've changed. Oh, I've had a rebirth. Oh, look at everything I've accomplished. Like, remember, your past is your past for a reason. Regardless of what they show you, regardless of how they tell you that they've been X, Y, and Z, right? Come to the clear understanding, like, is this for my highest and best good? Is this my highest timeline? And, like, hold truth of the high priestess that you are, of the cognitive awareness and energy, and what you are connected to the cosmic realm, right? That ability, because you are a vibration of a seed, of the seed of awareness, right? So when you're thinking, why did you say no, let it be? I'm not done yet. Have you built up a wall of protection? Right? It's very interesting because like your animals can essentially be your bodyguards, right? And they can shield you and they can protect you. But you also have to do your due diligence as a healer, as a true healer, right? You have to protect them. And so remember, everybody has a role and a reason. And so it's time for you to truly, like, if your animals are like acting up, like follow the thread to who it belongs to, right? And it's time to be fucking spiritually rude. It's time to claim your sovereignty and claim your authority, right? And it's time to either vanquish them to hell or literally slice open the fabric of reality and throw them into a completely different paradigm, reality, location where they can finish their own evolutionary journey, right? And you seal that shit up. And you can do gold sparkles and, you know, whatever color, like, is for their highest good, right? But you get them out of your field. And then what you add on that, what you tack on that is if they are feeding on anybody else in the collective, I completely detach all of their cords, all of their impediments, all of their lures, all of their hooks. Like, you pull all of that stuff out of the field, out of every single person in the collective. Because if you're here, it's because you are a badass healer. It's because you have untapped energy that you have yet to experience or to transmute. And so, like, it's time to put these bitches in their place. It's time to remove any of these dark, lower vibrational entities that should have left a long time ago because their contracts have been up for ages. They are not even supposed to be on the planet anymore. And so they're essentially in a holding pattern, holding our Earth in a 3D consciousness, right? And so they're using frequencies to try to put the remainder of the awakened people back to sleep, to force them back into the matrix, right? Algorithms, bans, like that ripple of control. So I would say, like, have a cord that you put, like, and connect these two chakras together, right? And then pull into your heart center and, like, push that vibration out into your heart center, right? Into the field of awareness, right? You ask your higher self, what field, what gateway, what vibration of the system am I supposed to be tapping into, right? Because each chakra system is a grid system. And so those grid systems are essentially controlled by lower vibrational entities because they've impeded the map of energy. And so, like, part of your job, welcome to the club, is to heal those energies and to heal those gaps and to help raise the collective consciousness, right? Yeah. Like, it's big. It's big for you to start learning how to work your energy, right? And if that's something that you guys want to learn, like, give the video a thumbs up, right? Because that's how I'm going to start figuring out, like, what I'm supposed to be launching, because they give me like 5 ideas a day, 10 ideas a day. I'm just like a factory of all these things that they want me to start executing, but there's only one of me, right? So together is better, and as a group, like, that's how we're going to start, like, actually truly shifting the collective. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that there, right? They said one more, and I'm not even done with the reading. It's a tangent, so maybe somebody needed to hear that, maybe somebody needed to explore that. Time is of the essence, right? Because the energy is potent right now. Like, what we're transmuting in these next handful, I think it's all the way up to like August, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of a preparation of you releasing your karma so that you can then step into a paradise, like not even dharma, right? It's not what you get out, what you give out is what you get back. It's not even that. It's from a completely different echelon. It's like where you are operating out of your highest vibrational plane and only good comes to you, right? You're no longer in the shit of the karma, and no one and nothing can put you back into that phase. And so, like, as you're unpacking these things, like, ask yourself, like, what do I have to do to get to where my third eye and my telepathy is fully open? Like, show me the breath work. Somebody put it in my feed, because, like, I want to learn from the person that is for my highest timeline, not what they're manipulating the energy, right? So that they get followers, but, like, put it back on you. Like, how do I get the growth and the teaching and the mastery? I don't know. That's what they're showing me. Anyway, you know what I mean. And for those of you that said it, thank you. Close your eyes and open your heart, right? It's all about coming into a heart-centered consciousness, allowing yourself to be entirely enlightened by your highest timeline, by what is truly divinely created for you. And get with that. And every time that you encounter these lower vibrational energies, or these people who are essentially trying to remote view you, like, flip the script. Follow the thread back to those fuckers, and then start cutting off the threads that they're using to feed on other people, right? Because, like, the thing is they're using old tricks. They're reading an old playbook that has been the only playbook on the planet that they've had access to. Because the truth is the people that have been manipulating the energy don't have a conscious awareness of light. They are operating out of a lower negative paradigm by worshiping these harmonic dark energies, knowingly or unknowingly, right? You can put it in any kind of a name you want, but once you start understanding that the energy never dies, it's living on the planet, and they just said stop. But I want to say, like, whatever you need to come into your divine power, where you're not freaking out, where you're in your strength and you're like, I don't care, do what you do, but I'm going to tell you, like, I'm taking it to wherever I need to go because I'm getting on my mission. I'm getting on my true divine mission, and no one and nothing is going to stop me. And if anything in a physical body tries to stop me, I command that they be taken care of, right? And you give it to your guides and you let them. The Menialite and the Halit are the two that are going to help you get into balance, balancing your masculine and your femininity, right? They also just told me too, like, for those of you that have encountered, like, physical abuse as a kid, you know what that energy looks like, right? Not to dive into it, but what you do is you pulse into the field and you literally rip that energy out from the root, because that is essentially a dark, demonic, lower energy that has tried to impede and suck on little kids. And it's essentially possessing the individual that was doing it, right? Not to take anything away from those people, because they are also responsible for being weak, for allowing the energy to take their space. But what I want you to do is I want you to send a pulse through the magnetic field of the planet, in the root chakra specifically, and start pulling them out of the fabric of reality. Having them just drop dead. Just pulse it through and rip them out at the root, because they don't have bodies. They're body jumping. If you've ever looked at somebody who, say, is an alcoholic and their eyes are completely jet black, like there's like, the music just stopped, FYI. Like, there's something to that. And so Maybe it's a way that you start claiming back your own divinity, that you start like claiming your own power, that you are no longer a victim, right? I'm kind of getting like there's different channels that have happened to you that have essentially kept you in a victimhood mentality. And it's time for you to slough off all of those lessons, right? And they're showing me like a wool fleece, right? Like back in the olden days, the way that they used to like just throw a bear over their head, but they're showing me like a lamb. And maybe this means that you are fully protected, right? But it's time to start going at it and to start really making a massive impact, and no longer playing victim, no longer like allowing yourself or your ego to be triggered to throw you back into that old paradigm, right? It's time for you to truly step into your royalty. It's time to activate your gifts and to activate your discs, right? So just take a deep breath, right? And I want you to just identify in your body where your old stuff is still living. And I specifically, I feel solar plex. I feel sacral. And so that is how you manifest. So if you've had money problems, if you've had problems building, if you've had problems like relating to people, like just take a deep breath in and put your hands on your heart and tell your body, like, thank you. Thank you for bringing me to this point. Thank you for holding all of this stuff so that I could see it, so I could process it. But now I'm stepping into my self-mastery, and I don't need this shit anymore. I'm done. This has been a lesson I've learned, and I don't want this body to no longer have to revisit any of the old. But what I want to do is I want to take in my control. I want to step into my power. I want to step into my strength. I want to step into my ability to command what it is I desire. And open up your heart chakra and allow your body to like shift into the vibration as if it was all already completed. And pull in a purple and a lavender and an indigo. And allow all the remainder of those rips and tears to fully like dissipate and to fully release, so that you then can truly start like commanding the space that you need to operate out of, right? So you are the guardian that you're supposed to be. So you are the gatekeeper you're supposed to be. Stepping out of darkness into the light fully. Not stepping away completely from dark, right? Because like if you did not go through that turmoil and through the trauma, like you would not be where you are now. And so you give homage to like the where you've been. And you are always as light as you are dark, right? And when you need that darkness, you pull from that darkness. But you live in the light, right? It's what a true warrior does. It's time to get smarter. It's time to get more expansive. At a certain point, these videos are not going to live on this channel, right? They're going to be on the Patreon. But that is information for another time. So we'll play with it, right? I don't know. I still don't quite get all the regulations and all that stuff. And frankly, I don't care. If you resonate with this reading, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like a reading or a clearing, all the information is below. I am accepting readings, requests, and clearings. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to increase your vibration to at least 80% light if you can, right? And as always, if you are vibrating in like a 60 or below, you have entity attachments that need to be released. if you are drinking, that is the one way that they do get in. So understand that. And then if you ever find yourself going, yeah, it's 90% a spirit trying to get you to agree to allow them to come into your space. And you just name it and claim it, and you put your rings up of protection, and you tell them, you know what, regardless if there is if I don't hear it audibly and I don't understand what is being asked of me completely, because as you're a medium, it is very difficult for you to separate like the voices, right? To separate the spirits that are coming and saying hello to you. So that takes practice, and that takes time, and that takes a lot of like meditation and breath work to be able to pull down those different variations and barriers. So, okay. They just said they want one of these, so these are essentially, these are the Nordic letters. Just one, please. Well, that's what you said. Alges. It says meaning elk, associated with the Yule tree, the higher self, the divine connection and protection, power from within, wisdom, and the universe, spiritual awareness, right? So like you're probably, I mean, who knows, maybe you'll start seeing this, but you're in prime for like getting into like connection with the higher self, and for you to start like learning how to work with your own energy, and like you commanding your own strength and your own divinity, and no longer playing small. It's time for you to like separate your traumas from your emotions, no longer allowing them to be triggered. And then you reset the body and you reset the neurons, right? You literally change your epigenetics through like firing and rewiring new neurons. And when you connect to the higher self, that is something that you can do. And it will transform your life. Like you literally will bump up in like your evolvement, as you do that. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope something with this resonated with you. Sorry for the tacked on message. It's just what happens sometimes, but we roll with it, right? Until next time, be well and ciao.